Okay, folks, welcome back to Cheap Barbecue Reviews. My name is John.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
And what have we got today, Jeff?
We've got a charcoal grill barbecue with chimney.
With chimney.
Chimney.
That's exciting.
Model number BQ250.
It's from Hacienda.
Hacienda.
Now, this model is, the body of this you see in cheap Chinese-made barbecues everywhere, and different configurations and setups, and we'll probably review more of those in the future. This is the first one, so it looks like a little tiny barrel, and we're going to attempt offset smoking in it, and we're going to attempt to reverse sear on the steak, and we bought a thick steak.
A thick steak this time.
Thick steak today to try and get that reverse sear, get it medium rare on the inside. And
how thick?
it's a couple of it's a big thick steak. It's also got a chunk of bone in it, which I don't think should be in a fillet, but anyway.
It decries the name.
Anywho, let's see what we're working with here. So it's really well taped up. It's also quite yellowed, the tape.
I can see that on the video here.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it looked like it'd be on the shelf for a while because part of the image was a bit faded.
A bit faded, possibly, but that shouldn't affect the grill. I don't, being sitting on a shelf for 15 years is not a problem for a barbecue. And the other thing, though, is it does boldly advertise that it's a chrome-plated grill. So if you have one and it starts to chip, you've got to stop using it.
That's right.
Let's see how much construction's required. Oh, looks like a lot of construction's going to be required.
Right. Doesn't seem to have any handles or anything on it. Hold that for you. Hang on.
I'm gonna.
Oh, you tip it.
I'm gonna tip it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we've got instructions at least. That's good news.
Everything's in English, which is very nice.
That's handy after last time.
Yeah. Lots of construction's going to be required, and because it's a drum, at least everything.
It's got warnings. Don't use it inside a truck.
Use it inside. Or inside, I would hope.
Don't use it inside the truck.
Yeah. Okay. Now we did wonder whether this was a lip or it was double walled, but it's just a lip, which always seemed likely.
I think I won that bet.
Yep, and I don't think I bet against you on that. And we have some very rudimentary instructions, yeah, let's quickly unbox what we've got here. So,
look at this.
There's a lot of screws, Jeff. There's a lot of screws.
That's all right, you know.
Okay, so we have a wooden handle. That's nice.
Very tasty.
That's nifty.
We should remove the plastic on those handles too.
Yep, we will. We have the chimney.
Nice.
Now, I'm not sure if that's got an adjustable lever on it or not. No, it looks like it might get one. That might screw on.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
2, 3.
I recognise that sort of metal. You got your Band-Aids handy
3
this time,
vents.
mate?
Oh, yeah. Handle those with care.
I presume one of those goes on the body, the others go
2 of them on the body and 1 on the chimney, I think. And we've got little fireboxes. Now the fireboxes I'm excited by because I want to get some of that indirect cooking going. Nuts and bolts. We're going to get the electric screwdriver out then.
That's a grand idea. That's
a
lot,
thermometer.
Actually, that's a lot. A thermometer.
A thermometer, which will be wildly inaccurate, but will at least give you a sense of.
Hopefully it's in Kelvin.
Is it working? Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
So we will use all temperatures in Fahrenheit. Please don't complain. It's common for barbecue. We've got another char basket if you want to use both sides, which I like that as a feature. We're just going to use the small one and try and get indirect cooking going.
All right. Oh, look, it's the chrome-plated grill.
And then the chrome-plated grill, which I got to say...
Oh, looks reasonably substantial.
It's reasonably substantial.
Looks oven rackable.
Yeah, and it looks clean. It's not got no factory grease on it, so that's good.
Awesome.
And then what else have we got here?
You have
2 legs.
The legs.
So.
Okay, wow. I got a parts list and a quantity.
Oh, what's that? That's some sort of baffle.
Maybe it goes in between.
So what we're going to do right now, that's some dodgy welding going on down there, but it's
powder coated, so
it's been completed and it's powder coated, so which is fine. It's still functional. So at this point, what we're going to do is cut to the time lapse of us building this, and we'll come back and talk to you folks once we're ready to light the fire.
Fantastic. See you soon.
So, Jeff, the instructions were laughable, but they were functional.
They were functional. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Diagrammatic action.
Yeah. We have assembled this masterpiece. There's a couple of sharp edges, but nothing's cut us yet.
6 screws and nuts left over.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure where they go, but
No,
they don't appear to have any useful function.
useful function in this version.
But they may later. You never know.
We have noticed that it's actually got a bit of spring in the final closing action, which is what you want to get a good seal.
A bit of a seal.
So that's good. Now, what we've set up to do is we've got some foil in this basket to try and stop the food messing up the barbecue, because we do hope to sell it at the end of this. We filled up this basket with coals. Now we're going to make a little pyramid, light it up, get it burning. And the vent on this side, we're going to close completely. All the other vents full open. So hopefully we'll get a draw through to bringing lovely smoky goodness to the food that's going to fit on this area. So that might come to make me regret it later. With a new barbecue, I always like to just lay the coals out as I'm going to want them to be once it's lit up, and then I can build my pyramid.
Not a pyramid scheme, mind you, just a pyramid.
No, I've never been smart enough to do pyramid schemes.
Well, they're good if you're at the top.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And we're away.
We have made fire. So now we need to shape the coals. Just never feel ashamed of how badly your coal pyramid building goes, because it always goes badly until suddenly it's okay. I think that might be as good as it gets here, but that's okay.
There you go. So when the shorts start eating themselves, the best pyramid to have.
Yes. So we've got smoke arising. We've just want to grab that bit,
Yeah, sure.
It's my fault. So we do have a chunk of wood on there. It's time to put the grill on. Okay.
Look at that.
Fits in nicely. So we're gonna chuck the steak on, and it does have a meat thermometer in it, which is overkill for a cheap barbecue, but will give us important data. And I'm not sure how we're going to get the sausages and the rest on here, but we'll figure it out.
Look at that. There's plenty of them in the hot space up here.
So it looks like we'll get one kebab on for now.
Just one.
Yeah, we don't. Just trying to find room to work around the other bits.
Is that lid going to close with the kebab stick?
Yeah, it's not. So
might be a crosswise.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
another short.
One handy tip with kebabs: break the stick.
Break the stick. There you go. Do you want to reposition the steak, maybe?
It doesn't have a lot of room to move.
Okay.
And
this could be another short.
Mm-hmm.
Grill geometry.
Yeah. Mastering the perfect
grill geometry.
So that gets us one kebab, the steak, and 2 sausages. And I guess that's going to be our review sample.
Okay.
And now we're going to try closing her up.
Look at that.
Yeah. And this isn't too hot, which is an important element. And then it's spring-loaded. That's good. All right, I'm just going to put the unused meat in the fridge, and we'll come back and see how it's all going.
Awesome.
So right now, the thermometer up the top, which are always just the loosest ever guides, is over 300 Fahrenheit. The smoke's billowing quite pleasantly.
Yep.
I think it's a very pleasant smell.
Yep, we're getting smoke coming out of all crevices.
Well, you'd expect smoke's going to escape from places, but it is actually exiting via the chimney, which is
mostly, yeah,
which is what it's meant to do. Now we've got the meat thermometer on, and I'm going to try and remember where the app is. There we go. Right, so it's got the ambient temperature, which is where the thermometer's down by the steak, at 144F, which is well on the low side. And the internal temperature of the meat is 48 Fahrenheit. We need to get that up to around 125. We'll switch it over and start searing it. But
it's starting to climb.
Yeah. So let me just we'll set it to rare
beef. A bit of local constabulary action.
Yeah, and enjoy the sound of that. And we're going to start recording, so we have a graph of the data.
That's increasing. Don't forget to rate the app.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to rate the app. The ambient, interestingly, the ambient on the grill is still quite low at 156, climbing fast though, Fahrenheit, whereas the thermometer up the top is reading 330-ish.
Right.
So that gives you a sense of how out those thermometers can be.
It is up the top of the unit, which is where the heat goes.
But that temperature is still rising extremely fast. The meat temperature is rising quite fast too. It's up to 52 already. Let's have a quick look at the graph. Okay, well, everything's rising.
Nice. Yep.
That's what we want.
You can't come up here. Sorry, boss.
The cooking space, I would say you could happily cook for 2 easily, and the unit is a nice little size. If you want to cook for more than 2, you'd probably want to set it up just to grill across the whole width of it.
But you could fill both baskets.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
By filling the other basket and cooking directly.
Yeah.
So look, we're not going to be talking too much about smoke quality in the cheap barbecue realm, because a good smoker is thousands of dollars, and this is $48.95.
$48.95.
But in terms of smoke quality, you buy your chunks of wood from wherever. These ones I think came from Bunnings, and we've got a chunk there sitting on top of the coals, which is doing a good job generating smoke. What you don't want with smoke is billowing white smoke. That tends to mean you're coating the food with creosote, and will give you flavors that you won't enjoy. I'd say this is a grey smoke. It's not quite as wispy and as I'd like, but fundamentally we don't have a lot of control over the air intake here. That smoke's okay, and it smells good.
It smells good.
Yeah.
It's making the requisite noises.
Yeah, noises are starting to happen. But and what you're seeing is there's still smoke escaping from the sides. There's smoke escaping in all sorts of places. Unless you've got a very expensive smoker, that's life.
I can't imagine this is going to seal particularly well.
Yeah, it's doing an okay job in that almost 90% of the smoke is coming out of the chimney, which means it is actually doing its job pretty well. And we're not suffering too many false chimneys. And interestingly, the smoke that's coming out is on the chimney side.
Yep.
And it's not coming out on the intake side.
Yeah, a little bit coming out.
A little bit, but not a lot.
That's just the breeze that's coming past at the moment. So change in air pressure, you'd expect some sort of billowing.
I will give it a general tick for it. Seems to be mostly pulling air in the right direction and doing the right things. So
it's a pretty tidy looking unit too.
And the nice thing about a drum like this that latches up is you can take everything you're going to need inside it and just pick it up by the handle.
You could.
So for going and doing a picnic, or the other big use case for this is if you live in an apartment with a balcony and your neighbours aren't going to mind too much about the smoke wafting by. So there's a few ifs there, but this will give you a barbecue.
What's not to like if the smoke smells good, though?
Neighbours can be funny like that. I think our neighbours are okay. Anyway.
But it does look a handsome unit. I like the idea of picking it up. I do note the sticker that came on the side that don't use it in a van.
Yeah, no vans.
No vans.
So we've just hit the target temperature on the steak. So we're going to open it up and see what things are looking like in there.
See what's going on.
The latch is still not too hot, which is good.
The handle's not hot either.
Yeah, the handle's fine. The capture, little bits of wire are working. That steak is looking like it's going to be kind of cool once it gets revved up.
A bit of sear happening.
Yeah. So sausages, look, they're cooking evenly as you'd expect in a smoke chamber.
Yeah, a bit more heat.
Hmm?
Bit more heat, I think.
Yeah, they need more heat, but that's what's happening with this reverse sear. So we're gonna, for now, we're gonna leave it open and let those coals get on that steak, and we'll see what it does.
All right.
All right, so let's flip this over and see what we're dealing with here. Now this was sold as eye fillet, but like I said, I don't know what that bone's doing in an eye fillet, but we'll. Ooh, look at that. That's looking pretty tasty.
That's looking the part. Yeah.
That's a big improvement over the last barbecue we did.
Yeah, that was a bit.
The old steamed steak.
Yeah, it looked a bit anemic. The steak from the last one. But very happy for this.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impressed with this unit, actually.
It's doing the things it's supposed to do in the ways it's supposed to do it, in ways that doesn't injure us.
Yeah.
So for $50,
all healed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you healed up from the last time. Yeah, you are the true hero. But I just like it. It's cooking. It's cooking our food.
Yeah.
It's a nice form factor. It's set up to do a bunch of things. We're only using part of its capabilities. You can definitely do a chicken on this.
Yep. Yep.
Not a big chicken.
Or even one of those little pot roast kind of things.
Yeah, yeah. You can do a small roast, and you can put smoke on, which I'm pretty confident once we get to eating the steak, we're going to appreciate the smoke. But yeah, I'm liking it.
Also with the handle and the clasp at the front, you can actually move it.
Yeah,
if necessary.
Yeah,
you know.
And it's safely off the ground. You could put this on pretty much any surface to cook with, which is not nothing. If I lived in an apartment and still wanted a barbecue, this would be a really good option.
This could work. Yeah, this could totally work.
And this would do a lot of the things I want.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's smelling and looking like it's done. Let's a little bit more on that side. A little bit longer on that side.
It smells great though.
It's really good. It's really starting to do the business. So we're calling this ready. So let's get the thermometer out.
Probe is out.
See what the other side's looking like. Oh yeah, that's looking like the business.
That really is. Yeah.
Now
lose that in there.
I'm just going to try and get this into one of the sausages.
All right. All your medical training coming into practice here.
Yeah, it's the medical training. I don't have medical training. I just want to be clear on that.
Dr. John.
So just. There we go. All right, so that's in roughly the right place. They'll be fine. We're just going to take this off. Yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
Beautiful, beautiful. Shall we put the kebab onto the heat?
No, we're just going to shut the lid now.
Right. I'll smoke.
let the smoke do its work. Let the that come up, and let's cut this steak in half.
And, let's get some vision on this.
Mm-hmm. Don't know what that sound was. Don't know what it means. The latch is still on, so.
Okay. All right.
All right. Let's. Oh, this is cutting nice, and not as pink in the middle as I'd like, but we'll see what it's like in the deeper bits.
All right. Well,
So I'm going to give you that one, Jeff.
thank you.
And let's see what it tastes like.
Give it a taste.
I've got high hopes for this, but let's see.
You can taste the smoke in it. It's
Mm-hmm.
good.
That is a smoked reverse seared steak.
Mm.
Mm. So this cheap little barbecue. Oh, there's some pink. There is still pink in there.
It's done a good job.
Mm. People would pay a lot of money to eat this in a restaurant. So.
And now you can do it at home.
Yeah, but just saying, $50 barbecue can do a smoked reverse sear, which I did not know was possible before we started this. So, now if you want to replicate this at home, the big trick is a few hours before you cook. Ideally the day before, but not necessarily. Put some salt on it, put some pepper on it. Get your fat little hand out and just rub it into the meat. That's an important part of the process.
Yep.
No more than that, though.
What about the temperature prior to cooking? Do you have it room temperature?
No.
So I've read a lot about having
Mm-hmm.
the meat at room temperature.
Yeah.
To put on rather than straight from the fridge.
Particularly if you're smoking, smoke will adhere best to cold, wet meat.
Cold wet meat.
Or cold, wet anything.
Okay.
So pulling the meat straight out of the fridge, particularly when you're doing a reverse sear like this, where you're cooking at quite a low temperature. If you're tracking it straight on the grill, then there's an argument to be made for having it at room temperature before you start. Certainly not having it frozen. If depending on what you're trying to do with a steak, tracking a frozen steak on the grill can give really good results. If you know what you're doing and you've thought about it.
It could end up really watery though.
Yeah. Don't do it by accident. Do it with intention. But I'm
impressed by this steak though.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely improvement on barbecue number 2.
Mm. Oh, this is the best we've had so far, but that's because this barbecue is allowing us technique-wise to push things to a new level. So,
yeah, I'm impressed with this.
Anyway, we'll see how the kebabs and the sausages turn out. But look, I think the mistake I made, and give me a break because cooking with an unfamiliar grill is always going to take some dialing in.
Just this once, man.
We pulled it at 125 to do the reverse searing, and I probably would have gone down to, say, 115. We're talking Fahrenheit here. And that would have let us put more sear on while it was still pinker in the middle. But having said that, it is still juicy as hell.
Yeah. It's not it's not inedible in any sense.
It's not shoe leather.
Absolutely delicious stuff.
I wish I had some horseradish sauce. I have horseradish sauce in the fridge, but very happy.
Yeah, indeed. I am
very happy. Now,
very impressed with this.
In terms of limitations, let's be honest with ourselves here. You can only do one steak at a time. This way.
Well, with the heat setup that you.
Yeah. For the smoked reverse sear, it's one steak at a time. So if you're just cooking for yourself and you live in an apartment, this is your barbecue. This is really going to do a good job for you.
Or one bigger steak. Like we could have effectively had a steak that filled that entire side without doing a kebab and a sausage.
Yeah, but you've still got to have the grill space.
Oh, you need the sear space as well.
Yeah.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah. But I have no doubt this will function entirely well just simply as a grill. And in fact, if you had the coals under everything and you were just cooking to grill, then you'd have a whole bed of coals, and that would work extremely well.
Perfect space.
Yeah.
Would you use the divider then? Probably not.
Well, you're stuck with the divider. I'd have coals in both of the
baskets, but
yeah.
you could, if you remove the divider, then you'd have a more even heat distribution.
I don't think it would change it that much because the air's moving through and around. I don't even know why they have that divider. They must have their reasons, but yeah. Anyway, let's see what the internal temp of that sausage is doing.
The special medical sausage.
Yep. So the sausage's internal temp is still got a ways to go to even be rare. So
okay. it is looking a little anemic on the outside. Yeah.
We're going to give that some time.
Okay.
And on that note, we're going to come back when some more things have happened. So we've had some mango flavored rum from Brix, B-R-I-X.
It's very tasty.
I'm not normally a rum drinker. I'm more of a neat whiskey drinker, but
definitely not a sipping rum.
But
no, this is a sipping rum.
Oh, that's a sipping rum over ice in particular. Do not drink it not on the rocks, but strongly recommended. So the temperature probe tells us that this food is cooked.
How are we going in there?
Still safe to handle. Opening up the second vent has increased the cooking temperatures. Not sure if you try to smoke, I would do that. I'd need to do more experimentation.
Looking pretty healthy now.
Everything's looking pretty healthy. Yeah. So let's grab a sausage.
This kebab looked like it could be turned though.
I think it's gonna still. It's cooked through. It's definitely cooked through. All right, there you go.
Oh look, got some sausage. Have you got enough there?
Yeah, that's fine. There we go.
Let's have a taste of this kebab.
Hey, there's still quite a lot left in the coals there as well, so it's. This is. I had hopes for it, but it's still only a $50 barbecue. It's a very competent little machine.
It really is. It really is. I think on a second run, I think we were discussing this earlier about like each of our trials of the barbecue is the initial run.
Yeah.
Like, so we've never used the device before, much like using a brand new oven. You're not really sure how consistently it cooks. But you could potentially easily revisit this one and experiment, and I think it would deliver some pretty good results. That kebab's definitely cooked.
Now it's the second week we've used the Woolworths jerk chicken kebabs, and these were actually the highlight from that last doomed horrible barbecue that we threw in the bin.
The blood sacrifice.
Yeah, the blood sacrifice. It did cook the jerk chicken kebabs surprisingly well, considering how badly it cooked everything else. Look, Jeff is Orwell's favourite toast.
He definitely thinks I'm part of the barbecue deal.
You're just hoping you can extend that appeal to more broadly.
It's just my animal instinct.
What do you think of the sausage, though?
It's cooked as well. It's got a good flavour. Like I think it's definitely got a smokier flavour than if you just cooked it, pan-fried it or on a barbecue.
The smoke penetrating is totally altering the nature of it, and there's even a microscopic smoke ring, a tiny bit of pink penetrating in from the skin, which is good to see.
Oh, there we go.
Exciting times for dogs.
Yeah, it gives my forearm a rest.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's finish up on this fantastic little barbecue, in my view. All right, Jeff, what are your thoughts on this as a $50 barbecue? $48.99.
It's a winner. It's an absolute winner, and definitely recommended purchase. And on our scale of shit or not shit, definitely not shit.
Yeah,
it's. I think it's for one or two people, and the way that we cooked today with the reverse sear and the smoking, I think it worked very, very well.
And
I'm impressed with how sturdy it is. It was pretty simple to put together. The thermometer worked quite well. The smoking, the venting, it's got a lot of potential. Like, you could really experiment with this thing, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, and we were doing some pretty advanced techniques on this, particularly reverse searing the steak. If you just wanted to lay coals in both the char baskets and grill some skewers, yeah, it's going to do that. No question. Assembling it is no problem. It's assembled is not a fire risk to anything around it.
No.
So this is the first of the cheap barbecues we've reviewed. You can say that about.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be put in any sort of protective covering.
No.
So
I mean, it's great heat. Like, the legs are
handleable.
They're warm, but I mean, it's got plastic covers on it. They haven't melted. Like, it hasn't.
The handle is getting warm, but it's been cooking for a very long time now, and is still not uncomfortable to handle.
No, you could clasp that and pick it up. I don't know if it's clasped at the moment, but
it's so, and the fact that you can fill it full of things, your tongs, your coals, all that sort of stuff. Put the clasp on, take it wherever you want to go.
Yep,
that's definitely a plus. So this is a strong recommend if you're in the market for a cheap barbecue. If you want,
or the ability to smoke.
Yeah. It can smoke, and smokers are expensive, and I've owned a bunch of them. So let me tell you, the first smoker I ever owned cost $1,000. The second one cost about the same. This one over here, if I put all the bits together, easily over $1,000. This is a $50 unit that will smoke a moderate-sized piece of meat. Not everything. You don't want to do a brisket on something this small.
No.
And more to the point, if you're trying to do a 8, 9, 10, 12-hour cook, the char basket is nowhere near big enough.
Yeah.
So it's not going to do that, but it's a $50 unit. And why would you be putting a $100 piece of meat on a $50 barbecue?
It's mildly overcapitalized.
Yeah. So there are limits to what it can do, but it's
seriously awful.
Strongly recommend, and there will be an affiliate link in the comments. So if you want one, if you buy it from us, we get a couple of bucks off Amazon. But other than that, for a tabletop barbecue,
it is literally a tabletop barbecue, and I really like the venting on the sides. You can control the airflow. You can potentially control the heat inside it. There's a lot of potential for it, and with the remote thermometer that you had in there, we can monitor the ambient temperature.
That was a $99 meat thermometer in a $50 barbecue. But it still gave us the data we needed to know what we were doing, and that does lead you back into barbecuing.
Look, man, I love you. I seriously do. But this is excessive.
All right, and on that note, Jeff and Orwell are going to retire.
Apparently,
All right,
thank you.
Folks.
See you next time. Okay, I know we said goodbye before. Here we are again. I was just talking to John and saying that I think I'm impressed by the fact that we've run a barbecue through this, and at least from the outside, it still looks brand new. Like, for a cheap barbecue with powder coating and that kind of thing, I'd expect some discoloration or perhaps some deformation in the metal. That hasn't happened. It still looks perfectly functional and still looks great, which I wasn't. I didn't think that would happen. Like, I figured the coals in the bottom would maybe blister the powder coating on it, or warp it in some way. But it's held up very, very well.
Now, Jeff, these smoked sausages, because this is the third time you've eaten these sausages.
Yeah. This is the best sausage so far.
They are amazingly
good. They're good. They're really good. They're by far the best ones we've reviewed so far.
The smoke has penetrated deeply into them, and it's adding a very pleasant flavour.
Really, really good. And the fact that you can control the heat with the two vents on the side
And the vent at the top.
and the vent at the top. If you wanted even more smoky flavour, I know some people really go for that. I just think it's there's a lot of experimentation to be done with this, and I think that just one initial barbecue might not be enough to fully explore what it could do.
I think what we've established, though, and that's what we're trying to do with this show, is to test out the broad capabilities. And we've done that. And as opposed to our first one, extremely limited, our second one, dangerous and bad, this one is good. This is a good machine. You can do good things with this. You can impress people. If you've got a date coming over, maybe do some smaller steaks than what we did, but you can do thick steaks well, which is that's a hard art. You can't do brisket. You can't do pulled pork. I mean, in theory, you could, but you won't enjoy it. It won't be good for you. But it's a very nice little cheap barbecue.
It's done remarkably well. As I said, I'm impressed by the maintenance of its exterior finish. Like, it looks great. It still looks great.
Yep.
And,
I think there might have been a plastic coating sitting here that we didn't see on the top one. But anyway, it's fine.
That's miles away from the cooking surface. It's exhaust. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, so we said it before and we'll say it again. Recommended. Buy it from the link below if you want one. And I just can't see you getting a better barbecue for $50.
Not really.
They can do a smoke reverse sear.
No, that's awesome. No, I know. It's done very, very well. It's done extremely well.
There's some
It's exceeded all my expectations.
There's some little kettles that we will be reviewing that are out there that could possibly achieve the same results. But
I think for the versatility of this, it's done very, very well.
And also, little kettles don't have a latched lid.
Yep.
The latched lid means you can pick it up. Well, sorry. Put it down, put everything you're going to want to, a pair of tongs,
See, that's latched.
your coals. Yeah.
You can actually just pick that up.
Yeah.
And just move it if you needed to.
Yeah. That's
Not put it down on the tongs.
No, you're good. That's the thing it can do that a little Weber or a the knockoffs of those can't do.
Yeah.
If you pick up the lid comes off.
Yeah.
On this, you can pick up the whole unit, and which means you can take it to where you're going with lots of stuff inside because there's a lot of interior volume.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're definitely going for real this time, and we hope you've enjoyed the show. And
thank you. We'll see you next time.
We'll be back next time.
Bye-bye.